This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by State Farm Insurance.
Our lives change. We get married, we have kids, and through it all, you want to make sure that your loved ones are financially fit should something happen to you. But where do you start when it comes to life insurance? What do we need to consider? Well, joining us today to talk about that is State Farm agent Karen Davis of Salisbury. Karen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, I'm just going to lay out the basic question to you. Why do we need life insurance?
We need life insurance because life insurance is what protects your family's future. It's what allows the dreams and the things that you want to have had happen had you lived a long, healthy life to continue to happen if you're not here.
Okay, so then the next question seems kind of logical. Why doesn't everybody have life insurance?
Well, that's a great question. One of the things that we have found is that it seems to be a hard conversation for people to have. The State Farm did a study and found that 74% of married couples know the importance of it, but don't talk about it. They rarely or never have that conversation. And the reality of that is that the avoidance of that conversation is devastating to the dreams that the family had. And what we don't consider is that, we set a plan in place that if we're here as a financial contributor, that plan's going to continue and it's going to happen. But if we're not here, the plan ends because there's no money to contribute. So life insurance fills that void. It fills that gap of the financial burden of somebody not being here.
To make sure things continue the way you want them to.
Absolutely.
How do I know how much insurance I should have?
Well, there's lots of different ways. State Farm has a life insurance calculator that's available online. It's an easy to use calculator that, you need to think about, what do I want life insurance to do for me? Do I want it to pay off the mortgage? Do I have other loans that need to be taken care of? Do I want to send my kids to college? Is that going to be a public school or a private school? How much income is going to need to be replaced? I may be the only person working in the household, so what is my spouse and family going to do if I'm not here to provide that income?
So with the calculator, I can plug that stuff in and see. Okay, give me a real life scenario.
We have a 32-year-old lady. She's
Right.
married. She has 2 kids. One is a toddler. One is in elementary school. They want to pay for college, public education for school, 4 years. We're going to plan on that. We know that might not be realistic, but she makes about $48,000 a year and has no other debts. The total need for life insurance, and this number is staggering to some people, is about $914,000 to provide coverage that you said that you wanted to have taken care of. So by the time we back out some life insurance possibly that you have at work or that kind of stuff, so we used an average of about $45,000, you have a personal need for life insurance of about $869,000.
That seems like such a huge number, but if you consider at one point, you're not really taking it in one big chunk that you need to worry about. Okay, so here's another question I got for you.
Yeah.
I've heard of term life insurance, term life insurance and permanent life insurance. What's the difference? Are they two different things?
Term and permanent are 2 very different policies. We use the scenario at work that, do you want to rent it or do you want to own it? And term insurance is something that's going to be a low cost to you initially. You're going to usually use that to pay off a mortgage or to plan for kids' education. So you need it for a set period of time. Might be 20 years, might be 30 years, whatever that looks like. When it ends, there's no value to it, so you're done with it. That's why we say that that's renting. Permanent life insurance is really best set up to take care of long-term needs. And by long-term needs, we mean things like final expenses. We know at some point we're going to die. This is the one insurance that is going to get used. May not ever have a car claim, may not ever have that, but you're going to use your life insurance policy. So it's going to take care of things like final expenses, estate planning. That's a huge topic of conversation today. May want to contribute to charity, may want to leave a legacy for your family. You may have a business that you need to make sure is going to continue if you're not here.
Right, okay. And then tell me very quickly again, because you mentioned this earlier and we all went, checking your beneficiaries.
We find a lot of times that people get remarried, they leave, they have children, maybe someone dies that they had set up as a beneficiary. It's hugely important to make sure that who you have on your policy is who you want to receive the money. We'll have people come in and they'll say, well, I updated my will, so therefore my life insurance is going to follow the will. That is not the case. Life insurance is a contract, and who you set as your beneficiary is who that's going to go to.
So make sure it's the right one.
Make sure it's the right one. If you had an ex-husband or an ex-wife that you really don't want to get that, you better look at your policy.
Make sure you get the right one.
Better make sure you get the right one.
Karen Davis, State Farm Insurance in Salisbury, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Some great information. Now, if you would like more information on State Farm's life insurance policy, or if you'd like to access the Life Needs Calculator, you can go to delmarvalife.com and click on the Show tab. Up next on Delmarva Life, bringing communities of faith together under one roof while celebrating history. We're going to talk with the interim president of a local college about an upcoming prayer breakfast and how it relates to the university's 125th anniversary.